So Nadeem, thank you for asking me what is the one big idea to turn around Pakistan. And I think to answer this, we need to answer the question, what is holding Pakistan back? I think if we correctly identify the problem, so you've got some of the best and brightest minds, on your show, on your podcast, identifying, different sort of aspects of the problem. So somebody is saying that bureaucracy is the problem that's holding back Pakistan. We need to fix the bureaucracy. Somebody is saying that, we don't export enough, so the exports to GDP ratio is low. Some people are saying the tax to GDP ratio is low, and that needs to be fixed, etc., etc. And I think when I listen to all this, it seems to me that we are like the proverbial blind men roping an elephant. Everybody is identifying a different part of the elephant, but nobody actually is connecting the dots and seeing the big picture or identifying or being willing or able to identify the elephant. So what is the elephant in the room? Not just in the room, I think in our lives or in the country as a polity. What is the elephant that is holding back Pakistan, that has produced the dystopian outcomes that we see? So it's not just the economy. It's across the board. Our dysfunctionalities are across all state functions, all state responsibilities, right? So let me just flip the argument around and pose a question to you and your viewers. Is Pakistan in the ICU? And clearly Pakistan is in the ICU. Is Pakistan in the ICU only because the economy is in the ICU? Or is Pakistan's economy in the ICU because Pakistan is in the ICU? I think getting this sequence or order right is really important. People tend to miss that. Everybody thinks, oh, it's just the economy is stupid. We need to fix the economy. Why is the economy underwater and has been for the past 5 decades at least, and across all forms of government, military, civilian, hybrid? Why are Pakistan's social, economic, human development indicators today as bad as Afghanistan and comparable and in some cases worse than sub-Saharan Africa? That is the question. So it's not just the economy which is not performing. It's not just that our industry is not competitive or it's a crony capitalism. We've got dysfunctionality across all our subsystems. The bureaucracy is not functioning. The judiciary is not functioning. The politicians are not functioning. So the parliament is not performing. Obviously parliament is pretty much in name only. But the politicians are not doing their job. The bureaucrats are not doing their job. The judiciary is not doing its job. Our education sector is in crisis. Our electricity sector is a shambles. Our health sector is in a crisis, is in complete shambles. So which part of Pakistan, other than perhaps the defense sector, which part of Pakistan is functioning? So this is not just an economic question. This is a political question. What is producing all these dysfunctionalities across subsystems is the meta system that governs all these subsystems. So we have to take a systems of systems approach. The meta system is how a polity like Pakistan is organized politically, not economically. The economic organization is a function of the political organization. And Pakistan is unfortunately organized as a polity not for inclusive development, but for elite extraction. And that is a sad fact. And that is producing all the dysfunctionalities. Until we address this, and I don't have an answer to this, as you know, elite capture, is something that is not so easily addressed, because it's important. It's easy to relatively punish a non-performing political government through free and fair elections, right? So if you have that system in place, which Pakistan doesn't, then it's easy to punish a political government that does not perform. But when the system is not performing, how do you change it? Who changes it? The insiders to the status quo are clearly beneficiaries of the status quo, right? So they have no incentive to change. And that is our biggest challenge. But I think the big challenge can be surmounted. At least we can take one small step by identifying the problem. So when Pakistan's best and brightest minds can't even identify the problem, because of being unwilling to or being unable to call out the elephant in the room, then I think this problem will only perpetuate. But once we call out the problem and we all agree, then we have a common ground that this is the problem. We need to change the way Pakistan is governed, the way Pakistan is organized as a polity. Only then can we produce different outcomes and better outcomes, not just for the economy, but for the people of Pakistan as well. Thank you.